Hey, Aaron.
Hey, Julien.
How are you doing? And who have you got with you?
I'm doing okay. This is Elio. He's my little
Hi,
furry baby.
Elio.
Yeah.
I imagine the Elio is keeping you company through these hard times.
He is. I decided out of a feeling of moral obligation and just overall concern to put a pause on Sorrel right now, just for the next couple weeks, spend time at home and just kind of get ready for what happens after all of this. We're not sure, of course, how long restaurants will be shut down. And if it's looking like it's going to be an extended period of time, we'll end up offering meals to go and things again in the next couple weeks. But for the health and safety of myself, my staff, and then also just our customers, I'd feel so terrible if someone like getting gas on the way in, contracted coronavirus. I think it's just a smart thing right now to shelter in and just kind of wait out the storm for a bit until they get a better grip on it.
So this is the perfect time to introduce our guest since he just joined us, but we're going to be talking to Brian Clevenger. Hey, Brian.
Hey, Brian.
Hi.
Nice
Hi.
to meet you.
How are you doing? What's going on in West Seattle?
Hanging in there.
Yeah. How have you been managing through all of this? I want to sort of, I haven't talked to you since this whole mandate came down. I want to know how you felt when this whole thing happened and what you're doing now to stay busy and sort of focusing on what's going to happen with your restaurants after this is all over.
Totally. My thought on it is this is something that we probably should have done a long time ago, actually. I think we're a little bit late to it, and we're starting to see some serious ramifications because of that. With regards to operating and staying busy, we're doing the best we can with keeping people employed and safe at the same time.
Yeah, really quick, Brian, can you just rattle off quickly the businesses that you have?
Yeah, totally. So I have Vendemmia, East Anchor Seafood, La Mesa, Roccolto, Haymaker, and GH Pastica.
All right. So that's a lot to be keeping track of right now and nurturing, and I don't know how you do it.
I like to stay busy.
Yeah. Hey, have you met Aaron before? He has Sorrel. I don't know if you guys have ever crossed paths.
So.
I don't think we have yet. I've definitely eaten at a few of your restaurants for sure and had a good time. But it's nice to digitally meet you.
Thanks.
Yeah. How are things going with staff and whatnot right now, as far as retention and just like everybody's mindset? Because it's just such a crazy situation we're all in.
It's challenging is an egregious understatement, right?
I know.
What we're trying to do is we're literally trying to keep the people who want to be employed and are safe in doing so employed. And everybody else we're supporting from a distance. We really want, since we're neighborhood restaurants, we want to be part of the neighborhood, and we've received a lot of support, and we keep our teams really small.
How does one go from, a sit-down restaurant, all of a sudden you're a takeout restaurant, Brian? Like, how do you even make that transition?
I don't even know yet. I take that back. Luckily, GH is like primary takeout focus, so we have some history there. The downside is our food at our dinner restaurants historically does not travel well. So we've never done takeout. We've never done orders to go prior to this. So we basically designed menus on stuff that we think would travel well, plus stuff that we would want to eat. The issue that I'm fighting with is like, and I know our guests are like, this is what to-go food's like, and I'm happy with it. But part of me fucking hates it because I know it's not as good.
Mm.
And that's where I'm struggling. It's like, I know our guests are happy and they want to show support, but it's just not as good of a product as if we were serving it to you in the restaurant. And that's where I struggle.
I do know I've seen some chefs posting on social media about how people are actually leaving Yelp reviews in this time of dining out. Like who on earth?
Soulless.
I can't imagine anyone who would do that. Hey, Brian, what are you doing to just stay sane? I mean, you're in West Seattle, Aaron's in West Seattle too. And I know on top of everything else, like the nail in the coffin is, the West Seattle Bridge is now closed. I mean, you guys must just be going fucking stir crazy over there.
Yeah.
So how are you coping?
First, I want to talk about the Yelp thing.
Yeah.
I believe in constructive criticism, and I believe that if people truly want to better the business, that their point should be taken valid. However, a faceless forum to bitch is not the avenue to take it if you truly want a business to succeed. Now, if Yelp was like, here's the person's full name, Facebook, link, and then I think they would change their tone oftentimes, because it would become constructive instead of like, look how shitty I can sound. And that's some people. And that's my thoughts on it. If it's a constant theme with Yelp from a lot of different people, maybe the business can take some feedback from that and self-reflect and get better. But I don't think that's the trend there. I think OpenTable has done a little bit better job of getting constructive feedback from guests, where Yelp historically, I think, is just a revenue center to make money.
I mean, I feel like kind of like when a baseball player gets popped for, doing steroids and they put an asterisk next to like all their records, I kind of feel like that's what this period has to be. And then that's okay. Like, it's like, okay, yeah, everybody performed. They did the best they could during this time. But this, if anything, what we're all trying to do, and the reason why people are trying to provide things, is that as cooks, we're naturally nurturers and want to, provide something. And then as business owners, we feel this huge sense of obligation to take care of our staff the best way that we can, because we know how it is to be a line cook and how terrible the situation is when it comes to finances if you don't have that regular check. So it's really, I mean, this is insane. Absolutely insane.
It's crazy. And, I think I'm doing like everyone else, growing out a beard, right? Like every other person. Where I'm actually working in the kitchen a lot more. I get to do whatever I want now for food. I'm not pigeonholed to doing like, pasta and a bunch of seafood. Like I was like, fuck it. I worked at Haymaker yesterday and I had enchiladas and prime rib dinner and like fried chicken wings. And I was like, so I get to have a little more fun in that sense. And actually it's probably going to translate when we open up again. I'm going to maybe just do whatever I want anyway.
Brian, like, what's your sort of silver lining take on all of this? Do you think that you're going to see, I don't know, how do you think this is going to change the Seattle restaurant landscape?
I think that the issue that we're going to see is 3 months after we open. That's going to be the breaking point for a lot of places. Once their grants run out or their loan payments are due again, or they're reintroduced to their rents, triple nets, stuff like that, then you're going to start seeing the ramifications of this. Everyone will be all right for the first couple months. It'll be a struggle. But then once all that stuff's due again, then you're going to see the big impact.
How has this stimulus package, how is that going to affect you guys?
You know what? I have no idea. We're in a weird spot. We have, I don't know how many, we laid off far too many people, but I think 70s to 80 teammates, and a lot of the stimulus packages are for under 50 and a lot of them for over 100. So we're in a definitely gray area where we don't quite know where we fall. So we actually have a meeting with our banker on Monday to see if there's anything that we can get from it. I built this whole company without taking a loan out, and now something that is completely out of my control could prompt a loan. And it really pisses me off.
With all the unknowns with your businesses, like, Brian, what are you doing just to maintain your sanity?
Well, I use the Peloton a lot.
Yeah, because you used to go to the gym a lot. Now you don't have that option.
Yeah, thank you for bringing that up. I want everyone to realize that I pump a lot of weights and work on my core. Yeah, I've been actually cooking more. Hanging out. I have a baby boy who's 5 months old, so I get to spend some time with him. The downside is, since we don't have anyone in our commissary kitchen anymore, I do all the pasta. So I make all the pasta for all the restaurants, and I work in the restaurants, 4 to 5 nights a week as well, doing takeout. And then, which is good because I'm working with one other person. And then they get to keep all the tips. So it's actually like a really good day for them. And it keeps everyone else happy. And then I get to see our guests that are supporting us. I get to cook whatever I want. So it actually, that part is good. The downside is we don't make any money.
Yeah.
But I do get to cook a little more, and it keeps me busy that way. So.
And you just celebrated a birthday. What'd you do? I saw you had cake.
Yeah, my wife made me a funfetti cake. You know what? I didn't really do much. I watched some Tiger King, ate too much cake, and crushed some Miller Lights.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
I love that. All right. Well, any last parting words, Brian? Anything you want people to know about what you're dealing with and what the restaurant industry in general is going through right now?
Yeah, I mean, I think the big takeaway from this is now there's a widespread understanding of the volatility involved with the restaurant industry. And before, it was pretty much confined to the people in the know, right? The people who know, people who work in restaurants or have owned a restaurant, have worked in them. And now people really understand the importance of small business restaurants, how thin of margins they actually run on, and how guests drive jobs.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that we can actually learn from this. And if it's that we understand that the value associated with our guest dollar needs to be more widespread and valued, I think that that's okay. We pride ourselves on this understanding of, our guests, they work hard for their money and they spend it with us, and we need to always talk about why. And now hopefully this conversation happens in every restaurant. At the same time, the guests understand that they're employing millions of people. And so maybe triggering more widespread conversation like you two are doing now, I think is really important.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you for joining us. I appreciate you taking the time out from your quarantine.
Thanks for having me.
What are you going to do the rest of the day?
Let's see. The rest of today is going to be spent working on kind of what comes next for Sorrel, along with just taking some me time. I've been talking about getting into yoga for years now and had a lot of false starts. So today was my day 2 of doing it, and it was put me in a really good headspace.
All right. Well, it's good to see you today. Thanks for hanging out.
Absolutely.
And I'll talk to you soon.
Okay. See you soon. Take care, Julien.
Bye.
Bye.